my name is Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring the little bell so you are notified when new videos drop. So it's the fickle finger of fate once again points its bony finger at James Bond. It's not looking good for 007. And when I say 007, I mean James Bond, not of course whatever Loretta Lynch's character is going to be, who was clearly only hired because she was a very androgynous looking black woman. I mean, really, I think they wrote that in the script before they wrote anything else. It's just kind of the way Hollywood rolls nowadays. The entertainment industry become a bit openly racist. That's basically where we are with it. Anyway, James Bond has been sold to a James Bond villain by the looks of it. Jeff Bezos? Of Amazon. MGM has been bought for their massive IP catalog and also back catalog of movies. What does this mean? What does this mean for Bond? Nothing good. it's my guess. From what I can tell, nothing good. Although I think if we're lucky, it's going to be much more convenient to watch James Bond implode horribly before our eyes. So yay, thanks for that. So fine, before we read the story from the Hollywood Reporter, can I ask you to hit the like button? That would be fan-dabby-double-dozy. Now, I'm going to say a lot of things here that if you're a James Bond fan, you're probably not going to like. Ignore all that. Hit the like button anyway. You know, everybody likes to be liked. So hit the like button, hit the share button, hit the subscribe button. That would be fantastic. Thank you very much. I am ridiculously and pathetically grateful for every one of you that hits the subscribe button. If you're subscribed, can you make sure you're still subscribed? And if you're not subscribed, if you can consider it, that really, really insanely helps us independent content creators that live in our basement. I'm literally my basement. This is my basement. That live in our basement and scream into the camera. So if you want to facilitate those additional voices coming through, hit the subscribe button. As I said, if you subscribe, still subscribe. Comment, let me know what you think. That also helps the algorithm. It goes, nom, 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 nom. Give me those yummy comments so I can eat them all up. That was very nice of them. If you want to be super fan, dabby, double, dozy, nice, I have an Indiegogo project right over here. Go check it out. It's the link is in the video link to awesome graphic novels. By the way, I thought of an idea for a fantastic James Bond comic. James Bond comics are shockingly bad. I mean, just shockingly bad. I did a review of like the last 6-issue miniseries written by this person called Vita Ayala, and it was one of the worst things I've ever read. It was just so insanely bad. So I had an idea for a James Bond comic. I'm about to wrap up this campaign, right? Next one is I'm about 50 pages into. The one after that's going to be a Superman book. But this one sounds so much fun. I really want to get it done. I want to do a James Bond comic. I think I will call it like In Service to Nothing or something like that. So basically, James Bond is older, which has always been something that fascinated me. Basically, imagine him played by Pierce Brosnan, as he say. I love the Pierce Brosnan Bonds. I watched one the other day. He's a superhero in those. I mean, like he literally is. He's just, and I just enjoy it. So imagine Pierce Brosnan as he is today. He's James Bond. He doesn't know anybody in MI5. They're all like young people who have been promoted above their station and ability based on their identity. So it's basically surrounded by a bunch of women and, when I say women, incompetent women, not cool, spyish women, incompetent women, and incompetent black people and incompetent, but yeah, everyone is hired purely because of their identity. If you don't believe me, go and look up the real world CIA recruitment ad or army recruitment ads, which are recruiting entirely on identity. So I think it'll be really fun to have Bond in this awful world that we live in 2021, where everything is identity politics, and because Bond doesn't really get on with that, and he discovers some a nefarious plot which he has to go rogue to take down. But there's I got a lot of good business anyway. So yeah, it's support my comics. Then that comic one day will happen. So anyway, so over here it's in the video notes. What are the comics? They're two awesome comics. We got biblical Bible stories, Aces, Traces, Rattlers, and Rogues. It's 220 pages. page-long, real thick tome. It's very biblically accurate, not preachy. That's really my most important part of that. Like, tell a good story. I like good stories. Another good story is The Imperium, a love letter to Telefancy of '96. I'm going to zoom in a little bit because the artwork. I wrote both these books. The artwork was done by a guy called Dominic Racho. So essentially, this is the cover. Essentially, the idea is Emma Peel, James Bond, a monkey in a spacesuit, and the Black Slave from 2001, and Doctor Who, all working together in one reality-bending supergroup. There is, of course, a little cameo from The Prisoner, and lots of rolls of toilet paper. Why wouldn't you have lots of rolls of toilet paper? Because, I just think that's a good thing to add. If you buy both comics, you get a bunch of extras. You get this great pin-up, which I'll supersize, do an A2 poster. I think it's 18 by 24 inch poster. We call this Noble Savages. Of course, the lovely Leela from Doctor Who in the 70s, and Raquel Welch from the 1 Million Years BC with K9 and the Time Machine. Why not? You get a bunch of, I would say, somewhat smutty postcards. Let me tell you, I'm a guy who kind of likes smut. I just am, okay? It's just who I am. Probably why I like James Bond movies. By the way, the Bond movie which the other day was Tomorrow Never Dies. Terry Hatcher, freaking smoking in that movie. Yes, she's never looked better, and she normally looks quite good, right? So she looks fantastic in that movie. So yeah, we have this card. It's a James Bondy one, Keeping British End Up. You're a Bond fan, you'll recognise where it comes from. The last line in Spy Love Me, which is the best James Bond movie. I'm sorry, that's a scientific reality. There's nothing else I can say about it. We also have Space 1999 one, Party Like It's 1999. Judge Dredd gets a look in with Don't Even Think It's Citizen, a bit of Doctor Who action, my personal favourite, with no hanky-panky in the TARDIS. Star Trek gets a bit of a look in. These are all, again, you'll notice genre-related. Councillor Troy saying, I'm sensing strong emotions, Captain. And the final one for this campaign, we're continuing this with the next campaign. Next campaign, we're going to have Barbarella. We're going to have, what's the name, the Skydive? What they call it from UFO? The Jerry Anderson series. And, of course, Onana Mati from Flash Gordon. I mean, these cards can go on and on forever. Yes, anyway, the Force is female. And oh boy, is it so female. If we hit 8 grand, we're at 7.5. I think, because I'm booking a bunch of shows. This is, now I've got everything else done. Now I'm booking up shows to get on so I can do the last final week of this campaign, which I've been promising for over a month, literally over a month. Never announce your intentions unless you know you're going to do it, because you end up looking, and this is a Jewish word I'm going to teach you, and you're going to end up looking like a schmuck. You get out looking like a schmuck. Fortunately, I look like that a lot, so it didn't really make a difference. So anyway, this poster, Bohemian Time and Space. You can also get this one, The Eyes Have It. You have this one, Great Balls of Fire, and this one, Forever Young. Forever Young, I'm imagining, which isn't coming up now for some reason. Give it a second. Oh, there you go, Forever. I mean, I'm imagining, the fourth Doctor Who growing old forever with Sarah Jane Smith in the TARDIS. It's just a lovely idea. It's a lovely idea. Who wouldn't want that? I haven't decided on doing that with his arm behind his head, or this version, would come out without the arm between his head. So I'm going between the two. I don't know. Let me know in the comments. Let me know in the comments what you think is better. What's going to be better for James Bond? Probably not being around in 2021. That'd probably make James Bond a lot better. So the story is Amazon. Amazon has bought MGM to basically use it as an IP farm for it's man, what is all this stuff they got showing here? Because I can turn this off. This is just distracting me. Oh, thank God for that. They basically bought it as an IP farm for Amazon Prime, their streaming network. Now, Amazon, I think, has the strongest streaming network after Netflix. Netflix is the strongest. Why? It's been around the longest, and its technology is the best. That's the really main thing. You turn it on, it just works. It streams seamlessly. Even Amazon isn't able to match the data rates of Netflix. Netflix is just absolutely incredible. HBO Max was trying to be a contender. It didn't do so well. Why? Because it was sold to the Discovery Channel. You know, if I could go back in time a few years and I tell you that there's going to be Discovery and Warner Brothers and HBO are going to buy out one another, I would just assume they're buying Discovery. No, they bought Warner Brothers. It's not good for Warner Brothers. They're going to be gutted. The question is, they had this really awful new slate of DC movies planned, while they had a very successful slate of DC movies with the Zack Snyderverse going on HBO Max. So there's been a lot of pull over there between AT&T, the parent company, HBO Max, and Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers do not want the Zack Snyder Superman. They do not want it in any way, shape, or form. HBO Max does, because it did well for them, and AT&T did because it did well for HBO Max, which is the reason they had it. But yeah, it just wasn't doing well enough, so they sold it. They sold it to Discovery, which gives you an idea. So around the same time all these things were going down over the last year, it was mooted that No Time to Die, the new Bond movie, was being shopped around to streaming services, and they wanted something, I think 600 million or 800 million, maybe 900 million. They wanted a large sum of money for it. So I thought at the time that would make sense if you get the entire Bond catalogue and the right to make new Bond things for your streaming service. Which that seems to be a major factor in this. Still, the price tag, 8.45 billion. Pretty pricey. Apparently, the only thing they bought more expensive than that was more expensive than that is Whole Foods. And I just think this is obviously the way of the future. Tech giants are gobbling up Hollywood. I honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if we see like Disney get bought by Apple, right? It's just, that's the economic thing. So the question is, the first question is, anyway, now they have access to the MGM catalog. Well, firstly, when does that kick in? When are they able to get their hands on the MGM catalog? It's probably going to be phased over a number of time. But are they going to have access now to No Time to Die for their streaming service? So I imagine the people in charge of the Amazon streaming service very much want that movie, right? Very much want that movie. There may be, I doubt you'll get same day and date release, but maybe you will. And that's certainly what they're pushing for. I think it'll probably be within a week or two. You know, kind of like Army of the Dead came out the other week, came out in cinemas. Nobody went to see it because it's going to be on Netflix a week later, which is basically what I can see them wanting to do with James Bond. Now, No Time to Die. Now, are they going to be able to? That's the real question, right? Because it's all tied up in rights. This movie is well over a year old now, and movies get stale. Right, movies get way out of date, and I'm worried this is going to happen to this movie. So the weird thing about No Time to Die is we're getting very contradictory signals from it. Everything we hear about the movie sounds like it's going to be abysmal. Absolutely abysmal. We had Phoebe Waller-Bridge, but who's a fine talent, but seems to be very into feminism rather than just telling a good story to the intended audience. Coming in to like add in plot lines about tampons for the new black female androgynous James Bond, 007, not James Bond. You know, like it's just everything I hear sounds awful. That trailer was freaking awesome, though. The trailer was fantastic. What's the name of the guy, the villain? He looks like he'll be good. Normally they do good, bad. That's the Bond. That's been the Bond movie model for quite some time, because I don't think they can take two bad Bond movies in one go. And let's be fair, Spectre wasn't a good Bond movie. It just wasn't a good Bond movie at all. Awesome opening, but everything else just like how is it so boring? I really don't understand. But it was there was zero chemistry between the leading lady, whoever her name was, and Daniel Craig. Daniel Craig not looking like he wanted to be there in any way, shape, or form. It just didn't work out. But anyway, so I think the odds of this being a good movie, I want James Bond to be good. That's my bottom line. So going after my heart, I'm saying hopefully it'll be a good movie. That's basically where I am with it. So anyway, let's read the story and see if we can glean what's gonna be coming in the future. MGM sold to Amazon for 8.45 billion in blockbuster deal. Remember blockbusters? Yeah, blockbusters were offered the whole streaming to start a streaming service about the same time that they were thinking about doing a similar model with Netflix. Netflix at the beginning, you would get your discs in the mail. It's a great service. I used to love it. So blockbusters started doing that, but then when they started streaming, which is a little bit after I left America in 2005. When they started streaming, Blockbuster was like, yeah, forget it. No, who's going to want that? It's kind of like, what was it? Was it IBM? IBM, well, it was one company who was offered the mouse. You know, like the computer mouse? I think it was, Rank Xerox. It was Rank Xerox that was offered the patent to the mouse. They're like, we're Rank Xerox. We're not going to put out a product called a mouse. Yeah, I think it's along those lines. The Check Giant will add the big collection of Hollywood classics and potential franchises to its primetime mix. So yeah, listen, I would be doing TV projects. Honestly, I've liked the Daniel Craig Bonds mostly. I like the setup of them. I like the casting of them. I think there's definitely room for a Moneypenny miniseries. Like, I think she was great. Was it Naomi? I can't remember her name, but I think she were. Was it not Quantum of Solace? It was Skyfall, right? Skyfall. You saw her in the field. I think there's definitely room for a Moneypenny series. I think there's room for Felix. Like, there's a lot of potential here, right? A lot of potential here. It sounds to me though, from what they're saying, is they're just going to throw out the baby with the bathwater and make garbage, which is something that Hollywood is seen to be very, very much into doing nowadays. In a landmark mega deal, Amazon is acquiring Mgm Holdings, whose storied studio boasts one of the largest film and TV libraries. I think MGM is probably like the last great. It's the last great hangover from the golden age of Hollywood. What was that name? The last Tarantino movie. That was all the golden age of Hollywood. MGM was like the last real holdout from that. Will be story boasts the largest film and TV libraries in a bid to turbocharge its Prime membership, offering customers potential to mine intellectual properties franchises such as James Bond and Rocky. Yeah, and they got. Although I'm still amazed with all the IP that Warner Brothers has. HBO Max has not done a Harry Potter TV show. There seems to be a lot. That will be something that people would pay money for, right? I think that will go well. Although HBO Max's model has just been, well, we're going to put every movie that we haven't put out right onto HBO Max, which changed the landscape. So I'm really hoping Amazon does that for No Time to Die, right? Even though it's a movie I think you should see in the cinema, but honestly, I got 60-inch TV and a comfy couch. It seems to be surrounds that seems to be reasonably similar. Similar experience. Especially as I'm reticent to go to movies anymore because most of the time it's agenda-driven garbage, as they kept telling me No Time to Die is, right? It's agenda-driven garbage, and I'm sick of paying for that. The deal pending regulatory approval, values at 8.45 billion. I would have said before the Disney Fox deal they would run into trouble, but how is this any different? The real financial value behind it is a treasure trove of IP, intellectual property, in the deep catalogue we plan. So here's the important sense here, that we plan to reimagine and redevelop with MGM's talented team. So they've had a hard-on to do a Black James Bond for a long time, right? Which is something that I just think is a terrible idea. The reason I think it's a terrible idea because I think it goes contrary to the character. Now, I'm all in for doing something interesting with characters and make them interesting, and you put a new spin on them. I loved the female Starbuck in Battlestar Galactica. I think if you go to the essence of the character, right, and then build a race swap character, whatever, from there. Or a gender swap character from there, you'll get something that's really good, because again, that's basically what they did with Starbuck in Battlestar, and it really worked out well. I think Lawrence Fishburne cast as Perry White in the Zack Snyder Superman. Perfect. I think it really, really was a very good piece of casting because he exuded the value of the essence of what Perry White was. So the problem I have with the Black James Bond is that, as far as I understand it, his character comes from a very old aristocratic family, and he's a very broken person with extreme privilege, right? So to fit into that mold, you've got to be white. It's just ancient aristocratic families in England are white. It's just, I don't want to tell you, that's just what they are. It's I'm not saying that if your skin color isn't white, you can't do the superheroics of James Bond. I'm saying that specific character has character traits that would prohibit him being anything other than a white male, right? So I think so, but I don't think that matters. I don't think that matters at all. It's very exciting and provides us with many opportunities for high quality storytelling. So Mike Hopkins, Senior VP of Prime Video and Amazon Studios, in unveiling the buy. So this, I think, is a much smarter move, by the way, than the ridiculously expensive Lord of the Rings, which also sounds like it's going to be. It sounds like it's going to be good, then bad, then good, then bad. Who knows? The acquisition revealed just days after AT&T announced its $43 billion plan on May 17th to spin its Warner Media division, including HBO Max and Warner Brothers, to Discovery, marks the latest major consolidation to rattle the entertainment industry. I don't think anything rattled them more than the global disinterest on the Oscars. But then again, we just saw them doubling and tripling down. Did you see the casting announcement for Predator? Like a small girl is replacing Arnold Schwarzenegger. Okay, and I like this actress. She was great in Legion. It just sounded like a good. Listen, if it wasn't 2021 and we hadn't been, had this dance over and over and over again, I'll be like, yeah, that sounds interesting. But it is 2021, and we've seen this over and over again. I'm kind of done with it, right? I'm kind of done with it. I mean, you don't know what to expect because it's always the same way. You remember the Terminator movie? Yeah, same thing. There was a bunch of, and then Sandman, the adaptation of the Neil Gaiman comic book, announced its cast, all with their pronouns. It's just the stupidest thing ever. So yeah. I just don't think they're getting the message, and I don't think they will get the message until Hollywood is actually really over. Which they seem to be heading in that direction. All right. Amazon, led by CEO Andy Jassy and founder Jeff Bezos, who pushed the tech giant further into Hollywood, recently enlisted Jeff Blackburn to rejoin the Seattle-based company as the head of global media and entertainment, overseeing the divisions from games, audio, and video, with a June 7th start date. Okay, Amazon, which discloses that in April that 175 million Prime members have viewed movies and TV shows on this platform in the past year. That sounds bad. That sounds reasonable, because most people get Prime just to get the cheaper shipping on Amazon, and this is just kind of thrown in for free. It's battling Netflix with a global 207 million. So you see, they're not so far behind Disney Plus at 103. I'm not sure how real that 103 million is. Right, and I do feel that it might well drop. Although they haven't rolled out to my neck of the woods. They're not in Israel yet, so but I don't know. Let's wait and see. The global supremacy among the for global supremacy amongst the top streams. Now, honestly, I think probably people will pay for 3 services max. Right? The CBS or Access, Paramount. Just shut up. No, but really, what? You think people are going to pay to see Steve Colbert? No, I don't think so. Shut up. They're not interested. They are not interested. Let me see. For global supremacy, among its original scripted fare, Amazon launched Barry Jenkins' limited series, The Underground Railroad, this month. The Marvelous Mrs. Maisels, the perennial Emmy nominee, and its biggest bet is a pricey upcoming Lord of the Rings series. Yeah, which they sunk $1 billion into it when Game of Thrones was doing well. I bet they kind of regret that now, right? Now they see, the charred wasteland that Game of Thrones used to be. Yeah. Amazon earned Oscar nominations this year with Sound and Metal, One Night in Miami, and the sequel to Borat's subsequent movie film. Yeah, nobody really cared, right? Nobody really cared, the Oscars, okay? It's over. Among the titles, the studios picked up films like Eddie Murphy's comedy Coming to America, which you know how much I'm disinterested in that. I have Amazon Prime, right? I can watch it anytime I want. I haven't even bothered. And it's free, right? I'm not paying extra any money. It's free. Upcoming was like talking about Jamie with new readers that never. Everyone's talking about Jamie, never heard of it. And aggressively moved to nab the NFL rights, including Thursday Night Football from Fox beginning 2022. Last year alone, they spent $11 billion on video and music content for Prime Video and Amazon Music. Okay, fine. Now, it will add a vast collection of Hollywood classics and franchises to its mix. MGM boasts film library around 4,000 titles and 1,700 hours of TV program, including Bond, Rocky, Creed, the Hobbit film franchises. Oh, man! So, yeah, so The Lord of the Rings really fits nicely into that. The 25th installment of the series, the 25th installment of the Bond series, No Time to Die, was delayed multiple times to October 21st as the pandemic slowed box office recovery. The Bond franchise, here we are, co-owned by Ian Productions and run by Michael G. Wilson and Barbara Broccoli. Fine. So that's the Broccoli side, right? Additionally, planned for this year's Ridley Scott's House of Gucci, starring Lady Gaga, and animated sequel, The Addams Family 2. Okay. They do an animated Addams Family 1. Is it a sequel to the, Angelica Houston one? Like Raul Julia's been dead for about 20 years. Okay. MGM also built one of the largest collection of classic Hollywood titles, including 1980s Raging Bull, Moonstruck. Oh, I love Moonstruck. Thelma and Louise, Silence of the Lambs. Oh, whoa! Do you think they might be interested in doing another season of the Brian Fuller Hannibal? Unveiling the by Amazon state of the MGM Films catalog complements the work of Amazon Studios, which is primarily focused on producing TV and show programming. Okay, so they got a ton of new moves then. That's basically the bottom line. MGM's top shareholder is Anchorage Capital, run by former Goldman Sachs executive Kevin Urich, who leads the studio director. The money stuff bores me. The company has gone without a CEO since March 2018 when Gary Ferber, blah, 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 blah. CEO, don't care. Much of MGM's revenue from licensing deals in the vast television library. Its public disclosure in June 2020 showed the Beverly Hills-based studio disclosed a round of layoff last April that impacted 50 staff and 750 employees, while senior managers took voluntary pay reductions. Okay, that means we're not paying you. Where was it? So the studio is led by blah, 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 blah. The TV side, overseen by Mark Burnett. Does that mean CBS and that would be Paramount Plus or CBS or whatever the stupid thing's called? Do you think they're going to lose the Burnett shows? Do you think they're going to lose Survivor? Right, and there was like shows like The Apprentice. Do you think that think they're going to go over to Amazon Prime? That'll be huge. That's a real that's basically a knife in the heart of Paramount Plus. It's like forget it. Like Paramount Plus, Peacock Network. What are you doing? No, there's only so many services people are going to buy. Make a deal. Make one of these deals, you idiots. Where you tell like they're probably going to end up being bought out by some nothing tech company. But CBS All Access or Paramount will probably end up being bought out by Napster. Okay, that's how badly they're doing. MGM TV produces Hulu's The Handmaid's Tale. That would be a real loss for Hulu. But I think they're on their last season, so yeah. Although I guess it's going to go to the Amazon catalog. FX Fargo. I haven't seen the last season. It's got Chris Rock in it. History's Vikings in the studio, staking unscripted offerings like NBC's The Voice and NBC's Shark Tank. So again, it seems like they want to dump all this stuff on. I put Survivor on Amazon Prime. That's a big deal. That is a big deal. Real Housewives. Blah 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 blah. In 2017, MGM acquired full ownership and premium play network, TV network Epix, with the real series of Godfather, blah, 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 blah. So I guess that's all going to Amazon. Yeah, I think Epis is going to be wound up. The sale of MGM, what's the newest chapter for the venerable studio? The history dates back to 1944. Yeah, I think they're kind of like the last one, right? The studio put in production the first release of the silent epic Ben-Hur, an early hit, was remade several times, including the 1959's Oscar-winning and 2016 costly big budget misfire. I didn't even remember they did one in 2016. They also produced Wizard of Oz. Could they be doing more like Oz TV products? New that could be good. Gone with the Wind. How can they play Gone with the Wind without was it a trigger warning? The Apartment, West Side Story. Oh my God, how long does this go on for? Let me see what else we got here. In 1967, blah 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 blah. It's just basically a history of the studio. Heaven's Gate basically broke it. So yeah, listen, it talks about the other things they got. RoboCop, that's the other thing. I guess they're going to be wanting to be developing. Listen, time is going to tell. They said very openly, we're in it for the IP. We're in it for the IP, which means new productions over the back catalog. That line, we want to reimagine things. Well, what was that line again? That line is the real financial value is the IP catalog. We plan to reimagine and redevelop with MGM's talented team. Yeah, that says we're making a Black James Bond. Okay, that's basically what they're saying. Although I hope I'm wrong. I started by saying I'm wrong about a lot of stuff. I hope I continue. I hope I'm wrong about this stuff. Here's the trouble, though. I'm not. It's not good news. It's not good news. No, Mr. Bond. We expect you to die. Well, at least I do anyway. My name is Tzvi Lebetkin. Do you rabbi from another planet? Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring the little bell. Ring that little bell so you are notified when new videos drop.